And we'll begin with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's start the meeting with a roll call, please. Floor.
I think Floor is muted.
Floor, you're muted.
Thank you. Sorry about that. This list is for the voting members. Jim Tunn.
Mark Odell here in his place.
Okay, thank you. Kevin Britsky.
Here.
Jocelyn Denham. George Topical.
Here.
Thomas McDermott. Mary Tanis.
Here.
Thank you. Lori Mercer. Justin Keel.
Here.
Thank you. Bill Carroll. Jerome Prince. Tom Dermody. And Matt Murphy. Okay. Five members that are present.
Floor, this is David Wright from Gary Public Transit. I joined just now. Sorry if I missed a notice or anything.
Thank you. We were just doing roll call.
Oh,
Dave.
you okay. Okay.
Thank you, Kevin. This is Kay. I was on a call that I had to take. I am present for the meeting.
Thank you.
That
What does that do for us, Floor?
Pardon?
How many do we have now?
The ones that are on the list, we have 5.
All right. What makes a quorum, Mitch?
I think it's just a majority of the members present.
Okay, just
Minimum 3.
Minimum 3. We got 3 is the minimum, and we
Right. I just want everybody to understand we're moving forward. We have the minutes of the April 6th meeting. That's on pages 1 and 2 of the packet. And we're asking for an action. Do I have a motion for approval of the minutes of April 6th?
I'll make that motion, approving the minutes of April 6th.
Mark Odell made the motion. And do I have a second?
Second.
Who was the second?
George.
George Topol was the second. Thank you. There you are. Any other comments, questions, corrections? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? So moved. Do we have any public comment today? I didn't see anybody listed, but we'll still ask. Is there anybody who wants to make public comment on any of the agenda items? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Thank you. We'll move on to the planning phase of the agenda. And today on 3.1, we're addressing Marquette Greenway RAISE grant application overview. This is informational.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me get the presentation up here. Let me know that you see our montage with the old logo, so I got to fix that. You see that, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking good.
All right. Let's get right to this screen. So I wanted to update the committee on an application that NERC forwarded just yesterday And it's an update on a previous application we've done before. So if you're a veteran of our TPC meetings, you've seen these. But the Marquette Greenway, as many know, is our regional priority corridor, trail corridor, stretching from Chicago to New Buffalo. And the RAISE application, I'll get in a moment what that is all about. First of all, the actual corridor itself. The Marquette Greenway, this was from the 2009 poster plan. It is a 60-mile, kind of started in the 50s, and now it's kind of extended to about 60 miles from South Chicago in Calumet Park, winding its way through the lakeshore communities with Hammond and Whiting, and then all the way east along the lakeshore through the national park, and then up into New Buffalo, Michigan. The goal of the route is to create a off-road trail as close to the Lake Michigan shoreline as possible. It was part of Congressman Bisklowski's Marquette Plan vision. Unfortunately, we are not the city of Chicago. We did not have all this parkland to our availability to build a trail right on the lake, but in many cases, we come very close to the lake, if not right on it. And so that was the route that was kind of determined over a decade ago. And since then, we've been working to get it done. Turn this down here. So the actual length today is about 60 miles. We have either constructed or funding about 34, and you do your math, it comes out to be about 26 miles that we have remaining to finish this corridor. So it's quite impressive. And as you can see with the graphic, how close we are to actually getting this done right now. We did open up a new phase in Burns Harbor just a couple weeks ago, with a new phase kicking off in Portage over Salt Creek. So things are moving quite well. And also to mention the phase that's wrapping up in Michigan City. So RAISE, what's it all about? It's an acronym. Of course it is. It's a federal program, so it's an acronym. This one is Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity. Now, it started back in 2009 through the stimulus funding because of the Great Recession we were going through. And it used to be known as TIGER, which is an acronym I'm not about to announce because I've forgotten it. But TIGER became BUILD under the Trump administration, and now RAISE under the Biden administration. So that's how those things work. About $3.9 billion has been awarded to about 299 projects in all 50 states since the inception of the program. It is at its very base an 80-20 federal program, but if you come in at that, you're not going to be successful. Local match is far more desired, and you'll see that we accomplished that quite well with our application. This is exactly what it is, about projects improving infrastructure, safety, regional connectivity, economic growth, competitiveness, but with a new twist on improvements to racial equity and climate change. In fact, the E, as you see in RAISE, is equity. So that was a big inclusion from previous funding cycles, and a new focus on these grants. The Fy21 program, it began in April and ended just yesterday on July 12th. And about approximately $1 billion is available nationwide. That sounds like a lot, but on average, about only 5% of projects are selected. If this sounds like Groundhog Day to you, it kind of is, because this is the fourth time that we have submitted for the Marquette Greenway, but the first time under this administration, with the new focus on equity and probably a better focus on non-motorized transportation. We did not see that focus in the previous administration. A lot of projects focused on rural as well as highway projects. So we're hoping for a new change going forward here. So about trail successes, all these that are coming up show you the amount of money that has been afforded to trails through the TIGER grant, primarily over the years. As you can see, I only go up to 2016. To my knowledge, the build funds did not fund any significant off-road trail projects. They did fund trails as part of roadway projects, but not, I think, a standalone trail. But again, we're kind of going back now with a new focus on non-motorized. So there is a strong history of large trail initiatives being funded by this program, and we're hoping we'll stay the course going forward. So this is the map that has been submitted to the United States Department of Transportation. And this grant goes right to the top, right to USDOT. We have about 26 miles that are incomplete in all 3 states. That makes up 17 total projects. The total project cost for all of this is just over $40 million. The request from RAISE is about 23 million, and our local funding that we've been able to accumulate between local funds awards and some other assistance will be in the $17.7 million range. As you can see, that cuts out to be a 57-43 ratio, which makes our application quite attractive. And usually RAISE comes in to help out those projects that have already moved along, already have local and have other financial commitments. So as we have been able to apply for this project over the years, number one, several segments have been built, which is great, kind of lowers our amount necessary, but we've also been able to accumulate a lot of interest and a lot of help and support with the local match obligation. I'm just going to go over the routes that are going to be asked for funding. These are the previous parts of the trail that have been funded, some of the more iconic views. You have the state line up there in the very top left. That's how it looks right when you get out of the city of Chicago. We welcome you right there with the trail. Then going down from there, the Wolf Lake Bridge that was put up over Calumet Avenue. On the top right, one of the first projects that came out of the work from the RDA was this large and very iconic bridge over Indianapolis Boulevard and New York Avenue in Whiting. And on the lower right, you see the newest part of Marquette Greenway, which is the Singing Sands Trail there in Michigan City, right along US 12. So many parts are moving right along, and there's quite a bit of excitement right now. So the parts that we have been asked for help to complete include this just over half-mile segment in the city of Chicago from 100th Avenue in Calumet Park to attach and connect to that part I showed you right at the state line with a separated path. The next one that we're looking to, and thankfully, and with great appreciation to Mayor McDermott, as well as Mayor Copeland, Mayor Seabar of Whiting, seeing the trail completed in those 3 communities. We end up right here, here in the city of Gary. You see that we have a funded segment there at Klein Avenue all the way to the left of your screen. The proposed trail is going to utilize an old bridge over the toll road, which is shown there in the lower picture. That used to be the South Shore Line Bridge before they rerouted the South Shore Line many moons ago. And that bridge has kind of just been sitting there. So the city wants to revitalize it, and that's all part of this grant. The trail would go over it and then would slide back under that bridge and continue east along the Nick D corridor, eventually to the city of Gary, to the Clark Street station, and then make its way with some jogs on road or along. This is a side path, by the way. Nothing will be on road, but side paths that would hug some city streets up to Bridge Street, and then that would be north to where it connects on the very right side of your picture with the Gary Green Link there, right in the heart of downtown Gary. Now, on the other end of downtown Gary of Broadway, the trail has been either funded or completed. So we're happy to say that we can kind of commence with the trail starting at Union Station at Broadway, and then we move east. And you can see the vast majority of this is all within the national park. Miller Woods National Parkland, you see the blue that's funded. That's what's called the Marquette Trail right now. That will become the Marquette Greenway, and they're going to pave it. And when I say they, the National Park Service will be paving that shortly. As you can see, the Marquette Greenway does enter Miller Woods. It's a very attractive corridor. It looks like that today. Is still used for recreational purposes, and that will be a paved segment that'll connect Gary to the national park. Moving along on the very left side of your screen is the Marquette Trail coming into County Line Road. This is where it enters Porter County. Here we're going to have the proposed route going through West Beach, going through Ogden Dunes, and we are still in negotiation with Ogden Dunes on a final route corridor, and eventually going into Portage to the Precoat Metal area, and then crossing the canal, and then going down to the marina, and then making its way down to the existing segment, which is just north of our NERC offices there, just here in Portage. So we're utilizing some bridges there. We're going to have to build a kind of a bridge boardwalk underneath US 12 to get under that area there from the lakefront area. But this, again, helps connect those parts of the east land holdings in the national park to the west through Portage. I'm also proud to say that that green line that goes from just north of our offices eastward is complete. City of Portage just finished that all the way to Deer Creek Park on the very east side of Ameriplex. So we're proud to say that that is a complete project. Some scenes of it include the old Crisman Road Bridge. This is a bridge that is on along US 249 north of NERPC. It will be revitalized as part of this project. Continuing on into the Burns Harbor vicinity, Burns Harbor has been just a rock star regarding this corridor. The community has either funded or built pretty much all of their trail obligation. They just opened up just about 2 miles of trail from 149 west to Portage to meet up with their project at Ameriplex. And now they have one remaining project here. It's called Project 13. And it does involve a bridge that's going to go over the Norfolk Southern line. I'll get to that in a moment. The other half of this includes the last obligation of the national park. This is through the Monoki Prairie, south of the Monoki Prairie to come up to Howe Road. You can see on the very upper right hand, that's where the corridor is in current form. That's where it exists, and this is where it'll connect to. The actual bridge that Norfolk Southern has, this is the older bridge. They actually built a new bridge. It was our first understanding we could go under it, and then they're like, no, you better go over it. And we're like, so we're hoping we could still, maybe an outside chance we can go under it, because going over it's going to be a lot more cost prohibitive. But again, that money has been baked into the request that we have put forward for raise to help Burns Harbor with that segment. This is the Calumet Trail reroute that is being part of this raise application. The Porter County has recently worked with Beverly Shores and the National Park on the reroute of the Calumet Trail. And this is how you see it running into and alongside Beverly Shores on Beverly Drive. They're going to create a side path along Beverly Drive and through this vicinity and make this connection happen. The original route of the Calumet Trail was on NIPSCO property. It also didn't connect to a lot of destinations around the national park land, and of course to Beverly Shores specifically. And now the trail corridor is going to accomplish that with this reroute, and eventually it comes back online as it continues over to Michigan City. This is a cross section of how the trail will stay above most of some of the wetlands that are in that particular area. The old Calumet Trail washed out many times. In fact, it's probably unpassable right now. So we are going to be working, and I say we, Porter County government will be working to keep it above the water line there with culverts and making sure the environmental engineering is up to par to keep the hydrology and to make sure all of that stays intact within that corridor. And then moving into Michigan City, you can see the green line there in the very lower left hand. That has been finished. There's no opening. We're closing on a ribbon cutting ceremony. So very proud of that. It's a 4-mile segment in Michigan City, the Singing Sands Trail that we've been working on for many years. And then you'll see the red segments, and those are the raised segments that we're asking for. And this continues to move it on towards Michigan, utilizing US 12 corridor on the north side of the Amtrak line. And then we connect to a blue corridor there. That is an existing funded segment on the top right that LaPorte County received a couple years ago from NERPC. And the final segment here is the route that eventually gets into New Buffalo. So that crosses the state line. Michigan has raised over $3 million of the $4 million cost for this project to date. So they are well ahead of the curve. And so they're just trying to figure out where this eventually will take people. As you can see, most of the corridor stays along the US 12 corridor, and then it eventually goes into New Buffalo through a shared route system to a trailhead that they have planned there within a couple blocks of their main downtown area. So that brings people straight into the heart of Harbor Country, Michigan. Don't need you to memorize this, but the last numbers on the bottom show you those raise requests, and you can see the 17 elements that we have incorporated here that are part of the application, and engineering estimates all the way through here with 10% contingency tacked on. And you can see down there, especially with number 16, how much New Buffalo Township over there in Michigan, how much they have raised to date, over $3.4 million. The very last line here are these ready funds that we did apply for and we're hoping to receive from the state of Indiana. That will add value to the local match obligation or reduce our local match obligation. But that's a $2 million request that we hope to receive. Again, that's all under negotiation right now with the Northwest Indiana Forum. The development schedule, if we receive this grant, we would receive it sometime in November or December. That's hopefully when we hear about it. We would be able to kick off as early as next year on this in 2022 with an expected finish of 27, 28. That's if everything kind of takes its time. We're hoping that would be quicker because many of the segments that I have already presented on have been looked at, have been planned, have been researched. So I think there's a lot of energy already and we could probably cut this down by a third or even half when it's all said and done. But again, we are using federal money, so that does extend time and money. So as for the trail, a lot of superlatives. Again, many people are already familiar with the Marquette Greenway, so I really don't have to sell you guys on it. But I do want to say that the last two here include over 70 letters of support that we received. I know many people on this call right now have been an amazing help to myself and to NERC in general and getting those letters to us. We can't thank you enough for helping us get that inside the package. And I do want to thank people of my staff, specifically Scott Weber. He did the benefit cost analysis. Lots of math, lots of numbers. So thank you, Scott, for doing that. We have Peter Kimball as well. He is our map guy, our cartographer, our GIS specialist in the office, and work with him pretty much to the last minute to make sure to get this done correctly. So thank you to both of you. You're gonna see a red oval because I didn't do this right, but what you see here is our NERC website. We have the entire grant. Okay, all the grant is now online. Thank you, Meredith, in our office for doing that this morning. There's still a few little bits that we still have to add in there, but the majority of the grant is now there online for you to look at in its entirety. It's on our website. If you go to the mobility tab, you'll be able to see the raised grant menu item on our main website, which is nerc.org. So I think I have said quite a bit, and hopefully now you are all up to date on the progress of the Marquette Greenway, and I'll be more than happy to take any questions at this time.
Mitch, is your PowerPoint on the webpage yet?
I will make this PowerPoint available as well on that webpage.
Thank you. Because that'd be a good thing
Into
to have
Meredith. It's
for the
coming your
next
way.
commission meeting.
What was that, Kevin?
That'd be a good thing to have on the webpage prior to the next full commission meeting.
I'll get it to Meredith today, you bet.
Does anybody have any questions for Mitch? If not, we'll go to programming with Charles Bradsky. Charles?
I'm here.
Thank you.
There we go. I'm here now. Good morning, everyone. Amendment 1 to the 2022 to 2026 TIP. While NERC awaits approval from NDOT and Federal Highway and Federal Transit Administration on the 2022 to 2026 Transportation Improvement Program, we still need to move forward and amend the TIP as needed. So we do expect that the approval of our TIP any day now, or any week, any day or week now. And when it does come, then this amendment will continue on and flow in, be processed into the State Transportation Improvement Program, the STIP. So a brief summary, amendment number 1 contains the following for fiscal years 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. NDOT had 64 new projects and 1 carryover project. Those include 27 bridge rehabs, 7 interstate pavement rehabilitation, 7 non-interstate pavement rehabilitations, 19 projects for drainage control and small structures, 3 intersection improvements, 1 lighting project, and then the carryover project was an IDIQ bridge project. IDIQ is a project is it stands for indefinite description, indefinite quantity. And that basically is a catch-all. It allows NDOT to program the funds, and then they can use those funds for minor repairs going forward. A contractor then would bid on them and then just do the work as needed. On the local side, the new projects or phases were for Griffith, added an intersection improvement. Hammond has a multi-use trail. LaPorte County has a new bridge and a bridge rehab and a multi-use trail. Lake County has a bridge replacement and a bridge rehabilitation that were added. Maryville has an intersection improvement. Porter County has a new bridge, or bridge replacement, I should say. Valparaiso has a multi-use trail, and Winfield has an intersection improvement that was added to the project. Carryover projects will be for Burns Harbor, the multi-use trail that Mitch had just briefly touched on earlier. And then NICD has, the South Shore has security, a project for security. There was one deleted project in the city of LaPorte, and that's their sidewalks. And one substantial addition of funds for project in LaPorte, which was an intersection improvement, and Portage had a road reconstruction. And that's it for amendment number 1.
Mr. Chair, if I can jump in before any votes are taken, we inadvertently left off a big chunk of the committee list, which is why Kay and Dave had to jump in and make themselves known. So if Flora could go and complete the rest of the roll call before you actually take a vote, that will clean everything up.
Please do. Floor?
David Wright,
President.
thank you. Blossom Mabon. Beth Schrader. Beth West,
Here.
thank you. Robin Barzoni Tillman. Nicole Barker or Kelly Wenger,
Kelly Wenger is present.
thank you. Kay Nelson,
Present.
okay, and the total is 9,
Thank you.
thank you.
Charles,
Should
were
I-
you done with your presentation then for the TIP amendment number 1?
Yes, I am.
Does anybody have any questions for Charles at this point? Hearing none, I'm ready for a vote. The recommendation from staff is a vote to recommend TIP amendment number 1. Do I have a motion?
This is Mark Odell. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mark. Mark Odell makes the motion. Do I have a second? George, your microphone's off.
I clicked it the wrong way. I make the second. George.
Thank
Top.
you. Any other comments, questions for Mr. Bradsky? Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote.
You, Mark Odell,
Yes.
Kevin Brightsky,
Yes.
George Toppel,
Yes.
Mary Tanis,
Yes.
Justin Keel,
Yes.
David Wright,
Yes.
Beth West,
Yes.
Kelly Wenger,
Yes.
Kay Nelson,
Yes.
thank you. That's a total of 9 votes.
Okay. Let's move on to the Emergency Transit Amendment number 15. Charles Bradsky is going to do an informational talk on the 2020 2024 tip. I think that pertains to GPTC.
Yes, as Commissioner Bretsky mentioned, this is an informational note. Earlier this month, emergency amendment number 15 for the 2022 to 2024 tip. I know it seems like we're going backwards here, but this amendment is for GPTC so they can write a grant for 4 of their projects. The funds in all of these projects were from 2018. So we needed to bring these projects from the 2018 to 2021 tip and bring them into the 2020 to 2024 tip so that GPTC could get their grants before the funds expire. Now, if you think we're all flying around in different tips, Federal Transit Agency Administration, operates on the federal fiscal year. So they go till the end of September, as for the 2020 to 2024 tip goes until September of this year. Before the new tip would come in play.
Do we have any questions for Charles at this point? Anybody have anything to add? If not, we'll move forward with Charles. Again, it wasn't on the formal agenda, but I asked him to talk about Congressman Vervan's Invest in America and do a summary for us.
Okay, Invest in America is a transportation bill that is going through Congress right now. It stands for investing in a new vision for the environment and surface transportation. Again, it's been passed by the U.S. Congress and is being sent to the U.S. Senate. Currently, we believe is being viewed as having favorable status in the Senate. For our region, that means 19 million is being brought to in earmarked funds for 4 different projects that was requested by Representative Mervan. And is our understanding that these will have to be obligated by the end of federal fiscal year 2024. These 4 projects are 8.1 million for the Kennedy Avenue Bridge over the Little Calumet River. Now this project had let earlier this year, but it came in substantially over budget. So the Little Calumet River Basin is reletting this project, is going to plan on reletting this project with these, and this funds would cover that. 8 million would cover the construction and construction inspection. And there's also $100,000 because if these funds go through, which we believe they will, then the Little Calumet River Basin will now have to be playing in the federal highway sandbox. And of course, they're going to need additional funds to bring some of their documents up to federal highway standards, namely the NEPA document. 7.4 million would be for the Willow Creek Road Extension Phase 2. Willow Creek Road Extension corridor eventually will go from 700 North in Portage to US 30. So Phase 1 from 700 North to State Road 130 is currently being funded with STBG funds granted in the last fall's NOFA. So Phase 2 will get the new road through the town of Wheeler and over the railroad tracks. 2 million is to aid in reconstruction of Central Avenue in Portage from County Line Road to Willow Creek Road. Currently, the section from Brant to Peach Street is in NERPC's tip in 2022 and 2023. And lastly, 1.5 million is for 45th Avenue in unincorporated Calumet Township between Colfax Avenue and Whitcomb Street. This is the last phase of reconstruction of this project and has experienced some increase in its latest estimate. So this 1.5 million will be added to what's currently in the tip. I believe the new estimate is somewhere right around just shy of 11 million. And NERC has like 7.5 million programmed, I believe, in its tip for that STBG fund. So this would fully fund that project. And that is everything.
Thank you. It is. And a thanks to Congressman Ravan and his staff for exercising the ability to earmark funds. It's been a long time since we've been able to be recipient of congressional earmarks, and hopefully this will all go through the Senate. Any questions or comments for Charles? I would just offer up the comment right now that right now we're seeing construction estimates run quite a bit higher than engineering estimates, largely due to labor shortages, increases in cost of materials and stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that in some of our cases, we're seeing higher prices right now. And sometimes it's prudent just to wait a little bit longer before we actually commence the construction. But the money should be there. Anything else for Charles? Anything else from Charles? If not, we'll go to topical committee reports. EMPC, I don't think we have a report today, unless somebody wants to offer something. Ped Pedal and Paddle Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our last Ped Pedal and Paddle met last week. We had a very robust update from Dan Plath with Northwest Indiana Paddling Association, talking about what they've been up to over the last few years. And now that the COVID crisis is subsiding a little bit, how their events are playing out for the rest of the year. Beyond that, pretty much standard updates, and we plan to meet at our next committee meeting in October.
Thank you. Any questions for Mitch? And thank you for the presentation this morning. It was very informative.
Thank you.
Land Use Committee. How about Surface Transportation Committee?
Yeah, good morning. We have no report. We have not met since the last technical planning committee, but we are scheduled to meet on Tuesday, August 3rd at 9 a.m. and that would be an in-person meeting as of this time. There is a chance that that meeting could get canceled depending on how the materials come about in the next week or so. So just stay tuned. But other than that, there's no more reports.
Keep us posted. Any questions for Scott? Transportation Resources and Oversight Committee, T-Rock.
Good morning, everyone. Again, T-Rock will meet on July 27th at 9 a.m. either on this forum or in person. That's for Lake and Porter counties. And they will, actually we will meet virtually. So we'll meet on, and then at 1 o'clock, we will do LaPorte County.
And it will be virtual.
Yes.
Any questions for Charles on T-Rock? South Shore Clean Cities? Lori?
Yes. Hello. Thank you so much. I will try to be brief. We've been very busy. As some of you know, items VW on-road and non-road grants were due on June 1st. We submitted 22 applications for our members and partners, and we anticipate the committee will be voting on the awardees in their August meeting. We hope to come back with you with some favorable news there. Also, regarding the state Volkswagen committee, in May, they approved a $5.5 million grant to the Indiana Utility Group, which is comprised of 8 Indiana utilities, including NIPSCO, for the installation of at least 61 DC fast electric vehicle charging stations across the state of Indiana. We, as South Shore Clean Cities, also applied for that project and came in second. However, IDEM did recommend that we manage outreach, education, and marketing for the statewide DC fast charging program, because we were the only applicant to include that as part of our proposal. The committee did agree on the concept of having us handle outreach, education, and marketing. However, they believed it would be best to put out a request for proposals for that aspect of the project, which they did. We are working hard on our application, which is due this Friday. I thank many of you who are attending this meeting for your letters of support for us handling those aspects. We, of course, believe IDEM got it right the first time when they recommended us for this aspect of the project. So we're very much hoping that we can come back to you reporting that we were selected to do so. We also put in an application for a grant through the US EPA yesterday with 7 other Clean Cities coalitions in other states across the country for electrification of ports. We were the lead agency on this application and used our work with the Port of Indiana Burns Harbor as an example. So that is something we can be proud of, all of the good work that has already taken place here, and that we can be an example for others. So hope to come back with you to you with some good news there as well. We've also been working with the Northwest Indiana Forum on their Ready Grant application. I'm anticipating Kay may share more about that later on when we come to announcements. Also, as part of our contract with NERC, we manage the Region Man Public Education Air Quality Campaign. We've spoken about this in previous meetings, which includes a Facebook page and billboards, which encourage, there goes my phone, sorry, encourage individual folks to take action to improve air quality on Air Quality Action Days. The Air Quality Action Season billboard campaign started June 1st throughout the region, and it runs through October 1st. I hope you're seeing those around the region. I tend to get kind of excited when I see them. Our 14-year-old son, not so much when he's in the car, when mom's getting excited about these. But please be sure to like the Region Man page on Facebook as well. I can provide the link for that in notes for minutes later on. We're also working on a Northwest Indiana Clean Air website through our partnership with NERC as well. We managed the request for proposals, the selection of the winning bidder, and we're working right now on content and design with the web designer and host. The site is really intended to be a clearinghouse for all of the clean air programs in Northwest Indiana, which includes our Green Fleet program in partnership with NERC, Partners for Clean Air, things of that nature. We're going to be managing the site once it's live, which we anticipate will be by early fall. So we'll keep everybody updated on that progress as well. We're also working with NERC on data for the Northwest Indiana Regional Greenhouse Gas Emissions Inventory with the IU Resilience Group. Much of our goal is in, or much of our role rather, is in providing alt fuel vehicle and fueling data, as well as electric vehicle and electric vehicle charging station information, alt fuel corridor data, et cetera, to make sure that that is all included in the process as well. I'd also, I make this plug every month or every time we meet, but would very much like to encourage you to be sure that your municipality or organization is a member of our organization and of our Green Fleet program, so that we can help you with an audit of your fleet. This is all part of our work with NERC for the region. We're anticipating many more funding opportunities in the coming months, including some that may be coming with an infrastructure bill, which may be approved very soon, we're hoping. So basically the Green Fleet audit serves as a basis for a lot of the same information we need for grant applications that we can help you with. So you can contact us about that. As part of our work with the Green Fleet program for NERC, we obviously handle outreach and education, as I was discussing with our billboards for the Region Man, the Facebook pages, the website, et cetera. Our annual conference and expo is fast approaching on August 10th. At the Blue Chip Casino in Michigan City, and this is very much a Green Fleet educational event. As an aside, I just checked, with Ty and with NERC staff. You will see on your agenda that there is a TPC meeting listed on August 10th. I have been told that likely will not be happening. So if you've been waiting to register thinking you have a TPC meeting, you're in luck. So we are going to have multiple breakout sessions, indoor and outdoor vehicle displays, 2 exhibit halls, a funding panel during the lunch hour with state and federal officials talking about upcoming fundraising opportunities. We also have Senator Braun, who's going to be sitting down with our executive director, Carl Lissick, during the luncheon and discussing his role as co-chairman of the Bipartisan Senate Climate Solutions Caucus. We do have some occupancy limits and we are filling up quickly, so please be sure to get your registration in. You can do that at southshorecleancities.org, or you can always give me a call or shoot me an email. We also have registration open for another one of our educational events, our Propane Auto Gas Answers virtual event. That's going to be 10 to 11:30 on August 19th. We're going to join forces with Wisconsin Clean Cities and the Propane Education and Research Council for this one, focusing on economic, environmental, and energy security benefits of propane as a motor fuel. Registration is also available on our website, southshorecleancities.org. And lastly, I need to take a breath. We have Partners for Clean Air Days coming up with Partners for Clean Air at Gary South Shore Railcats. 2 Sundays, August 8th and August 29th. These are always a really good time, and we usually have great giveaways at those. We anticipate having some free tickets to give away if you'd like those, or better yet, you can purchase tickets in advance or at the gate and help support the Railcats. They're coming out of COVID and could use your support. Just really want to encourage every organization and community here to also become a member of Partners for Clean Air. They have a green and bronze level, which are free, require very little commitment beyond pledging to take some action, only like 1 to 3 actions on air quality action days to help with air quality. And I'm guessing you're probably already doing those. So you can find that information on the item website. And thank you for indulging my very long-winded report. Hope to see everybody at our annual conference. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
So anybody have any questions or comments for Lori?
Was it date August 10th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And we want
August
that
10th.
PPC that day.
And where was that?
It's at the Blue Chip Casino.
Okay, got it.
Thank
Okay,
you, Mary. Hope to see you there.
welcome.
And I think the price goes up pretty soon if you don't register
Today.
today.
We had a big boost yesterday, so yes.
We have a new town manager as of last week, so I'm gonna alert him and let him know, what's going on. Maybe he can attend.
Wonderful, Mary. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Lori. Now, other business staff announcements, Finance and Personnel Committee meets the 15th at 8 a.m.
I have an announcement.
Oh, Dennery.
Yes, I just wanted to alert the committee that the new Recover Northwest Indiana Regional Revolving Loan Fund has been launched. There's a flyer and more detailed application information on the NERC website. So those of you working for communities, if you could help get the word out to your existing businesses that have been impacted by the pandemic, and have them contact me if they have need for a loan to assist them in the eligible lending activities. Thank you.
Please take advantage of this. We've been trying to get involved with economic development in Northwest Indiana for many years. We've succeeded now. We've got some grant money. We need to make this succeed. So anything else as far as announcements? I'll go back. We are going to have a NERC full commission meeting. That'll be a Zoom meeting July 5th at 9 a.m. right after Finance and Personnel. As Charles said, T-Rock Lake and Porter County meeting will be July 27th, 9 a.m. T-Rock LaPorte County will be July 27th at 1 o'clock p.m. STC plans to meet August 3rd at 9 a.m. and the Land Use Committee August 5th at 10 a.m. And we will send out announcements when we'll have our next TPC, but it will not be the 10th. Anything else good for the order? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Okay, so moves.
Kay made a motion. Who did the second?
George
Ian.
Topple.
George Topical, thank you. Last call for any comments. If not, this meeting's in recess. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
Thank
you.
you.